We're in it to win it.
Let's go.
Do you want to do an intro?
Sure. Hi, everybody. This is Derek and Reka back again with another live stream, learning how to live stream and talk anything about marketing. I think our agenda today is strictly to waffle buffle about marketing stuff and see if any like cool
Mm-hmm.
nuggets come out of our conversation. So tune
Mm-hmm.
in if you're interested in hearing us waffle about Web3 and marketing. Yeah, that's
That's
about
right. We're
it.
here to waffle and boffle. Um, I'm deleting the version of this we did accidentally 3 seconds ago.
Let's
Goodbye.
go.
And then
It's
I'm going over
it's very
Twitch.
beautiful to see all the I've been talking a lot about this with my friend LDF that it's so beautiful to see all the mistakes we're making in the back end of all of this production. So
Mm-hmm.
we were thinking when we go to Denver, because we both are going to be in Denver. By the way, I got my email. I'm going to be a mentor. Woo.
Let's go. Reka's a mentor.
Let's
You're all so
go.
lucky. Reka's going to be a mentor.
Yeah. So anyway, both on Build Week and Eat Denver. So that's nice. But yeah, so we're both going to be there. And we were like, we're already excited. What type of content do we want to shoot there? And so we were like, wouldn't it be really funny if we make content about making content? And I
That's
already have
right,
so many
everyone.
ideas.
We are now fully meta. Beam, you're here. Okay, so the Reka, you remember how when we talked, was it last week?
Yes. Yes. 2 weeks ago.
Um, 2 weeks ago,
Hello,
that
Pete.
I claimed that the ETH Denver family is a small and mighty community. It's, as you can see, we've got a roaring 7 people watching. Shout outs to all 7 of you. You're real human beings. Um,
Whoa.
and out of the 7, 3 are already active in chat, and I want to give them shout outs because Exodus, you remember that name from last time, is with us. Beam Me Up Now, who Beam, you and I can have a back and forth right here actually about when we're actually going to code up the NFT sales bot. We need like a floor bot, so that'll be a fun stream sometime. And then Pay the Toll. I really appreciate you for being active yesterday. You were one of what? It was just you. There were 2 people watching the Solidity stream yesterday. It was Pay the Toll, and then completely coincidentally, the other person was named the Toll Troll. And so they were both talking about how there needs to be a toll meetup at ETH Denver
Yeah,
because they both have toll
definitely.
usernames.
Did you know that there's an entity that's collecting just from like the similarity of names? I'm like bringing another conversation into here.
Okay.
That there's an entity called Josh DAO because there's so many people in Web3 called Josh, so they're collecting each other. And wait, there's like parallel 2 or 3 of those running around. So there's two or
Okay.
three little DAOs that are collecting the Web3 Joshes. It's insane.
What do you mean
We need one for the
collecting?
tolls,
I don't
like
understand.
recruiting into a
Uh,
collective.
it must be the one Pay the Toll that has the yearly Josh fight to crown the king of the Joshes, because if it's not that, then there's way too much Josh themed content in the Web3 space.
Wow, I didn't know about that one.
Imagine.
Damn.
Imagine.
Oh my
Uh
god, thank you.
the
Thank
Josh
you.
fight?
Can I click this? I
Can
can't
you?
click that.
Every time I
No.
click it, it just like pins it to the I want to see what this looks like. Thank you for being our guinea pig. Oh, it pins it over chat. Um
Damn. It's pretty good.
okay. Let's check this out. Wikipedia. It's just called Josh Fight.
It's a viral internet meme. Charity fundraising
Mock Fight.
in Nebraska. What the
Uh-huh. A
Oh my
civil
god.
engineering Josh in Tucson grew into a bigger thing through Facebook Messenger. Oh, it started with a bunch of Josh Swains. And then the meme, a bunch of Josh Swains. I see.
I
Oh,
click on
okay. Here's
okay.
how it started. Josh Swain added a bunch of Josh Swains to a group chat on Facebook and said, "You're probably wondering why I've gathered you all here today." And one of the Josh Swains said, "Because we all share the same names." And then
Yeah.
he said, "Precisely. April 24th, 2021, noon. Meet at these geographical coordinates. We fight. Whoever wins gets to keep the name. Everyone else has to change their name. You have a year to prepare. Good luck." That's so funny.
That's such a Josh thing to do, by the way.
Classic Josh's. Real bummer
Just
that
fight
all of
to
them
the
had to
death.
give up their name. That's really tragic,
Oh no.
except for the winner.
Okay, anyway, I agree with Beam. Meme marketing is so strong. It's
Yeah.
really hard to pull off. I feel like if you're doing it, you're probably gonna get like one good one out of like 1,000. And it's probably not even gonna come from you as like a marketing person sitting there trying to think up a meme. Probably not from you, but already someone else remaking another meme somehow.
Hmm.
Um, I did not see a lot of good memes in the past year in crypto. I mean, like the potentially like directly made for marketing purposes type of memes. Uh, we also played with it a little. It was tragic, and I saw a lot of other
It
people
was
try the same.
tragic.
It was the same. It was horrendous, but yeah. Okay, the SBF ones were pretty good. You're right.
Yeah, so
I
this is what I was gonna say. I'm new here. I'm in the 2020 cohort. Like a lot of people are in the 2017 cohort or
cohort.
the 2013 cohort. I don't know what you call it. Like the people that got
Yeah.
onboarded because it was a bull market. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
So as it was running up in 2020, um, one of the better memes of that year, both in my opinion and from a popularity perspective, to my knowledge, was the Solana Summer with the Pump It Up music video. And it was just this like edit of Solana stuff and Sam Bankman Fried and like dancing. And it was just set to music. And that got many tens of thousands or more like retweets and stuff. So there's
Yeah.
like it's an interesting like arc that specifically like how back in the day Solana, and it was SBF was like one of the big Solana guys backing it. So it's like it was SBF then and it's SBF now. And I just think
So
our
nice.
industry is funny because I often make jokes like when I'm explaining it to people who aren't in the industry. I'm like, okay, so there's this event, ETH Denver, and one of the cool things is that Vitalik Buterin, who's kind of our Steve Jobs, will like come and speak and stuff. And then he'll like wear the buffacorn suit, which is like our mascot. And then you end up in situations where like he gets memed really hard. Like Vitalik gets memed really hard. And there's nothing you can do about that. Like whoever was going to be the face of the thing was going to get memed hard. But like I've seen italic Buterin, bold Buterin, underline Buterin,
That's
where
pretty
it's and
good.
italic is like him like leaning. Um, I've seen or like the Buffacorn one. It was like a Web 1, Web 2, Web 3. I forget who was Web 1. Web 2 was just like Mark Zuckerberg sitting there, and then Web 3 was like written in cursive, and then it's the one at ETH Denver where right after he takes the Buffacorn head off on stage and he's just deeply covered in sweat wearing like the
Oh my
Buffacorn
god.
body. Like that picture, that specific picture where he's super sweaty as a half Buffacorn got used so many times.
Were you really proud?
So proud. And, I mean, I again, I'm new here. He and ETH Denver are closer to each other than I am to either of them by a long shot. Like spiritually. The fact that he wears the like crazy like visual maxi ETH Denver shirts when he goes and gives speeches at like ETHCC or whatever. I think that's really cute. That he's like, yeah, no, I love ETH Denver. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's my
Maybe,
baby.
maybe yeah, maybe there's something there.
Cute, sweet. Mm.
Yeah.
Oop, sorry. Whoa, I'm having an earthquake.
So
Um,
Exodus, by the way, before we move on, Exodus, you were over on Twitch. You might as well stay on Twitch. That's where everyone else is chatting. But I respect whatever choice you make because they're all piping in here. It's just our experiment, just to behind the hood here. We are streaming live to YouTube and Twitch and Twitter all at the same time.
what? Wait, is it on the ETH Denver Twitter?
Let's go look. Shall I screen share?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it out. Y'all, this is the first time Rake and I have experimented with this format. I guess second, technically. So
Hmm.
thanks for being our guinea pigs and telling us what you like and what you don't.
Show us. Show us. Show
Well, I got to
us.
get there first.
I know. Do you also see like the cumulative number of how many people can see it through or are seeing it through all these three platforms through Restream?
That is a great question. I do not have that at my fingertips.
Oof.
And okay,
No,
big
no
oof. Yeah, we're
fingertips.
done. What? I'm talking about my
Why no
fingertips.
fingertips?
Why no fingertips? Okay, share screen. Little tab. Okay. This is gonna get
Taken down for nudity.
depends where we go next. Okay. And then I just wanna have it make
It is on
sense.
East Denver.
How about we do it
I
like
was maybe testing.
this? What does it look like if we do this? There we go. I guess that makes
Whoa.
sense.
Wow,
And
that's
then
so. Oh my God. We have the chat, we have a screen share, and we have us.
it's too much. I know.
Wow, that's
Here.
so much me. What?
And now it's it's delayed. It's a delayed version of us. Well, no, we don't need to watch the stream. That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm
We're
getting
getting
at
even more meta there
is that
by
it
the
has
second.
100 the so
Damn,
help
that's pretty
everyone.
good.
We need your help giving us ideas for how to get more than 10 people watching this because this is actually just like ETH Denver, a live action web3 experiment. So, we're here talking about modern marketing. Our goal to prove that we have any chops is to get people to watch this because otherwise we're not qualified to talk about marketing. So we're going to
Damn.
start with me, the Derek, on Twitter, quote tweeting this. Somebody tell me what my tweet should be in the chat.
I know what my tweet's gonna be.
Yeah,
I
I'm
have beef
assuming.
with you right now. I'm gonna use
Good.
that. I'm gonna
Oh yeah,
use the
what's
this
your
as a
at?
start.
Reka? Do you have
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
What is it?
Do I have a Twitter? Did you ask that?
Some people just do brand accounts and don't do personal
It's
accounts.
Reka_eth.
I see. Reka and I are in a fight. And then what's like an angry? Great. See, this is marketing tip number 1. Just intentionally be salacious and start conflict. The
Yeah,
algorithm is
it loves issues.
tuned to conflict, and you just want to juice that sweet Web 2 hate machine to get those precious, precious likes and follows.
Hey, Derek, what's your at?
The Derek, and remember, Derek is spelled in a crazy way. Thanks, Mom.
So the Derek.
Yeah. So if I quote tweet it and retweet it, is that like bad form, or is that just good for the algorithm and nobody cares?
It's that form.
Got it.
If you want, generally, finally we're getting into marketing. Hello. So one good tip is depends on what you want to
Tip
do
alert.
with the tip alert.
Tip alert.
Okay, we're finally into
Yeah.
the gist of it. So depends on what you want to do and achieve with that tweet. But if you would like to have as much engagement on the original tweet as possible, do not even try quote tweeting it because
No.
that is taking away all the
It siphons away. Right,
like it
because we all
breaks
know the Derek
kind of.
has a whopping friggin' 415
Woo!
followers. So,
GG.
you know, my did it even publish? Where is it?
See, you don't even see the video. It's probably only going to be
I'm so confused.
a text tweet.
I just tweeted it. Somebody
Lol.
help. Hello?
Where is it?
Exodus, this is a good question. Let's come to it in a moment. Oh, there we go. So there it is. Great. Thanks, Pay the Toll. Somebody retweeted my tweet, and already Reka's point is being proven true. We don't need you retweeting my tweet. We need you retweeting the original
Right?
tweet.
Okay.
I've learned
I
my
am
lesson. I
never
should have
wrong.
retweeted and commented. Is that right?
Yep. Yep.
All right.
So,
All right.
marketing lesson of the day number 1. If you'd
Number
like
1.
more engagement on the original tweet, / if it's a content tweet like ours, that is a big video and live stream, do not quote tweet like how we did, because that is taking away engagement. Although some people like to follow that as a little breadcrumb, like your quote tweet, like to follow that as a breadcrumb into the original tweet, and it's like a reward to find like what the actual thread or post was about. But to maximize engagement and reach of the original tweet, you should retweet and comment and like as the biggest form of support for the OG tweet.
Okay. When would quote tweeting be more appropriate?
It's more appropriate in a sense of idea sharing. So if you actually have, it's like a louder comment, I would say. So
To
when you
your
don't
followers.
yeah. So when there's a tweet or a thread or a piece of content or something that you would like to amplify, but more in a sense that it's not just amplifying engagement for the original tweet, but it made you think of something. So you're more amplifying your take on it because people will see your comment, the quote tweet,
Right. Okay.
as like crazy.
I would like to close the loop on some of the recent chat stuff, and then we can move on to our next thing.
Mm-hmm.
So in the context of whether we can make ETH Denver the revenge of the spork, I'm sorry, pay the toll. That ship has sailed. We're already making signage. Shout outs to us being ahead of schedule compared to last year. It's the year of the spork. And in a moment, Reka, I'm going to ask you your opinion on branding and whether Spork DAO was a good decision. You're welcome to comment on the Spork part and the DAO part, DAOs generally. But just to pay homage to all the people that are here. Again, shout outs to all 14 of you across platforms. It's going to be a good year. We are going to give away Bufficorn plushies. And I just saw the renders for the plushies for the rest of the cast. We're going to have Spork Whale plushies, Spork Marmot plushies. The whole suite of ETH Denver characters is going to have tiny little plushies. And I'm just very excited about that because frankly, like I'm here for the memes. Like the Ethereum's price could go up or down. We could make or not make any particular project. They'll all die in the Cambrian explosion of evolution that we're going through. And some new generation will be born after them that learns from our mistakes. But I will still have plushies, and that's what matters. So 2 questions for you, Reka. I know, like
Plushies
Doomer.
stand the test of time.
Full Doomer. Yeah, plushies greater than NFTs.
Damn.
So you could respond to either of these questions. What do you think about SporkDAO's branding? Or what do you think is one of the biggest obstacles for Web3 projects bidding right now?
Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna start with the easier one.
Great.
Dissing your branding.
Great.
So, as a person who is witnessing ETH Denver from a distance, as this is going to be the first time I'm going, and I don't know, like I've just been following along to an extent, I understood the Bufficorn element. I was down for that. I'm like, great, there's a mascot. Makes sense. Where did this spork come from? Where did the spoon fork merge come from? And is there a strong community behind this lore? Because as a person who's just trying to go there to ETH Denver, why isn't it the Bufficorn's adventure but follow like a continuing of the Bufficorn thing? Why is it a new puppet or like Muppet or why is it a new
Mascot.
character? And then where's the lore? Where's the story of this mascot? How am I gonna know that? Like who's this little guy? What is he doing?
Okay. Your questions are all valid. I'm intentionally not answering them yet so that I can hear all of them. So please tell me more of your confusion.
So yeah, other than that, it's a kind of cute. It's if I feel like if you guys meme it, if you meme the lore, the full story of it, it's gonna be like a blast. I feel like it's an inside joke went into branding right now.
What makes it feel that way?
I don't know about the lore. I have no idea. Like Spork, it's an existing thing. It's an object in our lives that we know about. It's funny. It's cute. How did a spoon fork merge come from having the Bufficorn for the previous years? What's the storyline here?
I will give Spork the ERC20 to anyone who can answer any of that in chat.
You also have a token?
We have an ERC20 and an ERC721, and we are ambitious.
Interesting.
Yeah. These are great questions. I think the idea that it's just the Bufficorn thing and you can kind of track that makes a lot of sense. But for folks that have been there, I think we're going into our 6th year now. Um, Russell. Shout out to Russell Castanero, one of the stewards on the team. Hi, Russell. Good to have you. I will elaborate on Russell's point here in a moment because it does all tie together. But to start with where we are, thank you for sharing that perspective because things don't explain themselves. This is
Unfortunately.
ETH Denver's, like to sort of loop in Exodus's question here. One of the biggest obstacles for us is to bridge the gap between what we're biddling and what people are aware of. Just to like paint a really false caricature for a second. In our space, there are a lot of teams that put more effort into marketing and hype and promises on their roadmap to galvanize a lot of excitement so that there's a big initial burst of energy around like an NFT mint or around like an ICO or whatever it is, just to pump the token price. And then nothing really comes of it. On the other side, we have like grown out of a grassroots thing that was like 6 years ago or more and have since then changed literal Colorado law to have a new thing called the Limited Cooperative Association, LCA, so that we could make a thing called Spork DAO, which is not only a DAO on the internet, but also a DAO in Colorado. It's registered as a cooperative, and that legal entity owns ETH Denver and owns Bufficorn Ventures, our venture arm that launched earlier this year. Shout outs to Russell for spearheading and managing all of that. That's his domain. That's where he's in his zone of genius so that we can invest in projects that come to ETH Denver. So even explaining that much, that ETH Denver is an event that's been around for a while and it has a new venture arm, people can track that, but we don't have any good memes for it. It gets really complicated really fast when I also explain, because remember, what I'm trying to get at is all of this is already true, and we're having a hard time explaining to people that it's already true. We're the opposite of like all hype, no delivery. We've changed the law. We made the things, and we just can't explain it to people well enough, which is why I'm excited for this conversation, because one of the things I want to learn how to do better is just make these ideas more concise and terse and fun and mimetic. Because when I say that Spork DAO, which is a cooperative of humans whose membership is everyone that attends ETH Denver and attends, judges, volunteers, mentors, biddles, sponsors, buys merch, etc., speaks. It's free to attend the event and to contribute. And then you also have the choice to become... You didn't want to read a PDF, and that's your fault. And it's also our fault that it was that. Hello, camera? Damn you, continuity camera. Come on, be nice to Papa.
Are you having troubles?
I'm always having troubles. Give me 2 seconds. Darn it, Cammy. Cammy. Be a good boy.
You can continue speaking though.
Okay.
Can hear you.
I will, yeah, and then we'll give it a second to figure itself out. The hard part, one of the specific hard parts, is explaining to people that this co-op, this DAO, which again exists legally, it's not like most DAOs that are just a Discord server with a treasury. Not only is it real legally, as a result of it being real, there are implications when I say it owns ETH Denver and owns Bufficorn Ventures, which is, again, a venture capital arm investing in the projects coming out of ETH Denver and other hackathons. So if you read between the lines, if any of the projects we invest in, I'll end my rant when I could give an example about Tavern Keeper to actually explain what the hell a spork is in a moment. If any of those projects we're invested in do well, who profits?
Wait, are you answering that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Where do you think that money goes? We invested, say, $10K in a project like Tavern Keeper. It's give or take, somewhere in the like 5 to 20K range typically. And if one of those projects goes up to a higher valuation, say something humble like 100 or several hundred K in over the course of 1 to 5 years, and then our initial 10K is now worth, I don't know, 50 or more, right? Where does that money go?
Probably in the DAO.
Yeah. And who's in the DAO?
Didn't you say everyone who attends?
So who gets the money?
The event? You?
And the good news is Russell's here, so he can
Everyone in
make
the
sure I'm being
DAO?
accurate. Yeah, the short answer is everyone in the DAO. And the mechanism by which we keep track of who's in the DAO is they register for the event and say, I want to be a part of the DAO. And then they show up and check in and we say, welcome, you're in the DAO now. Free to attend, free to join, no fees annually. That's it. You just have to say you want to be a part and it's done. And then if there was a moment in time where we had a bunch of extra money sitting around in our DAO as a result of this example I've given. Oh, staking the spork. I forgot about that. See, it gets complicated. I don't know Russell, what's the most legal way to say it? What would happen there with the money and the people in the DAO and the sharing of the money? Because there's a lot of words I can't use because they're not accurate legally. They're analogies that would be very clear, but I'm not allowed to make those analogies. I'm just gonna say it for the sake of brevity, and then we would airdrop the profit to the DAO members. So everyone who's attended the event or mentored or judged or spoke or built anything is financially, in addition to ethically, incentivized to support the success of everyone else at the event, especially the projects we end up investing in. That's a really complicated idea, but it's a really powerful one. It's just the profit is distributed to staking members according to the staked spork. So it's not one-to-one.
How do attendees get spork?
By attending. And then you get even more if you do things that contribute even more value to the event, like volunteer or build a project.
Do you airdrop those tokens?
Yep. We are not allowed to sell them and never will legally because they represent your patronage to the DAO, like how much you've contributed as a patron. And so we give more to people as they contribute more. Attending, not a very high value activity. You get somewhere between 50, 200, depends on the year. Whereas biddling, ultra high value activity, you would get 1 to 2,000, which is, a big multiplier.
Cool. Is your camera working now?
They are required to be claimed, not airdropped. The spork we send people.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that's interesting. I would want to check that. Okay. But if they do the patronage, like if they do something useful and they gave us their wallet, we can't just send them the spork. Claiming is an extra step, right? And then a lot of them won't claim it because that's just how things work. Oh man, I'm actually going to throw a tantrum.
Isn't claiming necessary so that it's an opt-in, like actual, need its legal step? So that people are not, even more.
That's what I'm asking, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think claiming's needed. Oh, hello, I can see you again.
Okay. And I've already ruined it. Okay, great. Okay, Russell, you're going to want to follow up with Josh about that. Unrelated.
Which Josh? The only one that kept his name?
Ox Josh. Yeah, the one that won the Josh fight. Okay.
Go. Anyway,
I've already said lots of things. I'll pause here. So this is our marketing problem. We have, in short, already built the thing. You, Reka, will come and I hope you either speak or maybe even build a project. These are like ultra high value things to do.
No, I'm mentoring and
mentor and speaking. And so if you choose to become a member of the DAO, which you and I have an interesting side conversation about because you opted not to be a member of the DAO at first, which makes things complicated. You thought it'd be way cooler and better to not be a member of the DAO and to spend $599.
No, it was a scary legal document that.
It was a scary legal document.
Yeah, I'm not
Russell
very fond of those.
and I and a bunch of other team members have had a long conversation in public with each other internally
I got
about
scared of that.
And
I was like,
and how
I don't
it's
know.
kind of our fault, and we own that.
Anyway.
But anyway,
problem.
You'll be a member of the DAO as soon as you check in. You can stake some spork to show, we'll give you the spork. Let's say it's 1,000, and then you can stake somewhere between 1 and 1,000 of that spork and be like, I show my support for the DAO. And then fast forward 2 years, one of our projects, such as Tavern Keeper, becomes more successful and widely adopted as a business model. And then I think you're saying 52, like a 5280 mile high thing, Russell. And then you profit. The profits are shared. Cooperative members in this example includes you because you attended, are a DAO member, and stake spork. All of which was at no cost to you other than like your flight there and your hotel and so on. So that's crazy. We're a community-owned event that's also a hackathon that also has a venture arm where if any of the projects we invest in do well, everyone that attended the event as a DAO member and staked profits. That's not true of ETH Global. That's not true of any other Web3 event. That's not true of any other Web2 hackathon. The idea that you could just be a part of the VC firm just by showing up to a free event in your pajamas is crazy.
Okay.
But I can't say it concisely.
It's like it's pretty big decision for me for next year to go to Denver. Like it's definitely not
for
free.
Travel. Right.
Yeah. Right. And time and, jet lag and all of that. So it's not, I appreciate that like not people don't have to pay a ticket. That's super nice. Okay. Very inclusive, very open. But I feel like Colorado is not it's a very privileged. I couldn't go there last year. Like it's a very privileged thing to be able to go there. So that's also a good thing and a bad thing. It's very good because you know that a very highly engaged community is going to gather there, because you like have to try to get there, So that's nice. So your marketing problem is to differentiate yourself with all the different Ethereum events.
I don't think so.
But because you were talking about your marketing problem and then you told me your basic value proposition is that this is it's like an investment DAO as well. And it's a legal incorporated thing in the US. Like that's your differentiator. That's what
I think I'm not the only, that's true, but I don't think that's catchy. And when it comes to getting people to attend ETH Denver, I actually spend equal, if not more time thinking about how to talk to people where ETH Denver might be their first Web3 event. Not how do I convince people that have gone to other Web3 events to come to ETH Denver.
Yeah. Okay. I instantly have my basic think process questions there is what type of person you want to attend? Like, do you have a persona that you'd like to speak to?
A computer science college student in their second year who's learning about Web3 for the first time, has never really played with it, knows it exists, has a little bit of technical chops, but has never had a job and thinks it might be a cool thing to try out.
American.
Low middle income, like not like a Yale student, like a CSU, like that's a California State University. It's like a state school, like public school.
And then why should they come?
If they want to learn more about the industry, compared to watching videos and being on Twitter and participating in Discord forums, which are all valuable, I just think it's an accelerator. Like you meet a lot of people faster and you get a lot of context faster listening to talks and networking and hearing about cool opportunities and joining other Telegram groups and Discords and so on. So even if your goal, like whatever step of your journey you are from like day one, I don't understand the words, to like month 2, which 12 DAOs do I want to be a member of by joining their Discord server, to like month 6, which like working group in a DAO am I like consistently giving my energy to, like that kind of path. Wherever you are, it accelerates you.
Okay.
Falling down the rabbit hole, I think, is the actual meme. Like it helps you fall down the rabbit hole faster.
That's pretty good. I think. Oh, Russell's saying we're changing the word with projects that come out of ETH Denver. Come to find a path for the future.
That is
really
one of
good.
our core identities, is come build a decentralized future. I was recently chatting with another friend who I really look up to, Cameron Dennis at Near. Shout outs to Cameron, who was saying he likes the term open web to refer to this, to like this tech layer. Like, yeah, we're building the open web, which I think is really catchy. Like, yeah, of course I want an open web. I don't want a closed web.
So then for this person, do you think Twitter is the most efficient way to reach them? Because I almost think
No.
there's different distribution channels. And then also, so the messaging is what Russell's saying, or like what do you have out there right now? Because I know that it's most of it, to me as a person who's already attending or planning or going, it's mostly the lore.
Okay.
What I got from
You mean
from the socials.
what you're aware of, or what actually was cool to you?
Like the whole branding is the lore. To me, I know why I should go to ETH Denver, but I did not learn that from your socials whatsoever. I learned it from other people who have already been there.
What did they say?
They said that it's like well, first of all, it's the longest like Ethereum event. Like it's one of the like most OG places to go, and it's also one of the like good US based hackathons and events that are still like very heavily marketing focused, but they're also still technical, which is close to what I'm used to here in the European conferences. And the community that goes to ETH Denver is not necessarily the community that comes to the European events, which is super cool. And I think that's a nice, like a pretty good value add. And like all the social crypto folks or people who are actually building in the DAO space or community space, a lot of them are attending ETH Denver regularly. So it's a really good spot for me to continue my journey into this space. It's kind of my people, like it's probably the most like the US event where I have most of my people, except from DAO NYC last summer, or this summer. Which I think these are also pretty big value adds, but to a person who is already working in crypto. So that's different. That's why I didn't say this at first, because this is not the person you want to attract. You want to attract a person who's just coming into Web3 and experimenting and starts getting to know this. And I'm also non-technical. So these are all non-technical perspectives.
So in short, the piece that resonates to you as a non-technical person already deep in the space is networking.
Yeah. That's it.
Who goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is good to gut check against, because I've heard, but have been not skeptical of, but I'm just not sure how accurate this is. And so hearing yet another data point helps, that like out of all the Web3 events all year long, some of them have been around longer. And so there's like there are narratives around which ones to go to. And since I've had a chance this year to go to several and meet a lot of people, I hear DevCon as something that has, its identity, and people are like, hey, if you're into this and this, you got to go to DevCon.
Yeah.
And then ETH Denver has its identity. It's like, oh, if you care about this and that, you got to go to ETH Denver. And there's only a few, and then the other ones are like whichever ones are closer to you and easier to go to. But yeah, I've heard it consistently named like by people that are not a part of the team as like one of the 3 you should try to prioritize going to over the course of the year if you can. And I think it's mainly for that reason, because the people I'm talking to are in your shoes. They're founders, marketers, business developers, like VCs. They're not like
Yeah.
heads down coders.
So you'd like to attract the person who's the exact opposite, at least in like work style, which is great. But um, so far we've covered both actually. So I think maybe I did not hear. That's an interesting data point too. That, for example, I did not hear of Eat Denver because of socials or marketing whatsoever. It was fully word of mouth by people, by
So you
relationships.
could argue people like you, I don't need to market to because you will hear about it by word of mouth.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, like, if I were going to market to you, what were things I might do? Our hype video might have more clips that has like James Young and Anjali Young's face, or an Owaki's face, or Vitalik's face, or Griff Green, just to establish it as like, well, if they're all going, I'll go too, even if we
Yeah.
don't
But
say like featuring
that's for
Griff Green,
but that's for me who already know whose these people are.
Right. So I'm
Like
saying we
for the
don't do
person that
that.
you want, yeah. Like you
Right.
should do the
Instead,
opposite
we
of
do
like,
what we did do, which is like B-roll footage of a diverse group of people actually doing the biddling, where it's like
mm-hmm,
these group shots of
mm-hmm,
young, usually young, not always,
yeah.
people being like that like classic stock footage where people are like pointing at a computer and being like, oh, like, that kind of a thing. That it's like, here's what it is. It's people being like, oh, and then they're on stage, and we have that footage in the hype video too, where it's like 4 people standing there like presenting their cool idea, and then you like cut to the crowd being like, oh, because that is it. That's the core of the event. You meet some strangers, build a cool project, like stay up all night, college, like all-nighter style, and then ideally be a finalist and present on stage and win a bunch of money. That's the core of the event.
Yeah. I feel like that in a voiceover video from even you could do like you could fake interviews like this. Like you don't have to bring audio from the actual event. You could interview someone who's been in a hackathon or been at Eat Denver before and be like tell their experience in like really short. This is like a 1 minute video with the footage that you just explained and these steps in footage. Do you have that, by the way, or is this just
Here we
something
go. We are now going to get into I don't know what to call it, like example mode.
content?
Yeah, content. Let's talk content. So we've talked theory, content theory, what kinds of stuff makes sense for the kinds of people that we want to attract. And now we're going to dive into an example and see whether it proves to be a good example that matches our theory.
Are you pulling up the stock video or something?
What?
Are you pulling up a stock video or something?
That's so funny. Imagine.
Anyway,
Okay.
so like continue that with like a
I'm
voiceover.
I'm currently getting a 53-second video clip of exactly what you just said, I think. Not on the biddling side. This is somebody who attended. She's in a technical role, but what she got out of the event was not participating in winning. She got other stuff.
Okay.
So
I think I would highlight these people that have already been there, even reaching out to them now to make more marketing material and like showcase their stories of what they got out of this event and then have a lot of this.
right. Okay, so here's our clip.
Cami!
It's
I love Cami.
Cami Ramos. Shout out to Cami in this thing. She's the actual
Woo!
best. So the other day I was on a call with Cami with our marketer Laura. Shout outs to Laura. And she said offhand, like, no, yeah, ETH Denver, it was like really important. It set me on my career path. And I was like, Cami, if you'll indulge me, can I hit record on this Google Meet and you just take another pass at everything you just said? Because I know Laura is just desperate for this kind of high value content. And she was like, no problem, dude. So this is the result of me, like, hands and knees, like, could you shill ETH Denver for us for a minute and we'll just see what happens. So this is her genuine perspective on
Let's go.
think of this also as an example of like a form of marketing that I agree with you is super important. Like why attending ETH Denver changed my life. Like that's something I've heard many times.
Like that's what you want to tell people. And we can get back to the distribution channels, but I don't think it's only Twitter that you should be posting this to.
Okay. So here's the raw clip and then we'll go into production mode and talk about how to use it, whether to use it, what to do with it.
Yeah.
To come back and do it after I've done so many talks in the last year, like being able to come back to the one that started it all They're just so cute. Okay, I'll start over.
Full
Thank
circle.
Okay, yeah. So ETH Denver this year was my second crypto conference ever. And at that time, I had already been experimenting with Web3 and crypto, and I was super interested, but I was like, maybe it's too risky to try to quit my job. Maybe I don't even know enough to get a job. I don't really know anyone in crypto that could hook me up with a job or at least get me started. And when I went to Denver, I met everyone from Developer DAO for the first time. That's the first time I met Nader, Raha, and everyone that's my friend today. And I came home from that trip and literally quit my job, wrote a blog post about the graph, and got a job at the graph like a week later. So it was just like, the sky lit up and was like, oh my God, it's happening for me. And looking back, it was like the best decision I've ever made in my career.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
Get it? Okay, that's super
Get
cute.
it, Cami. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally sincere, totally real. And stories like that are very common.
I think you should have 150 of that going out.
Okay. So we're going to have two conversations. One is, what do I got to do to have more of those by 3 months from now, or maybe even by next week? And then the other is, once I have them, what do I do with them?
Yep. That's the hard part.
Let's start with the second one. So I've got a clip. It's horizontal. It's not the greatest quality, but it's good enough. What do I do with it?
Do you guys have a YouTube channel by chance?
We are streaming.
Oh, that's
to it
where
right
we're
now.
perfect. So definitely have it there. Have it there. It's always a good collection to have it on a playlist
A little playlist.
on your YouTube. Yep.
This is all going straight to my little daily planner. It's going to go in the tasks column. Things
Thanks
Derek
for the
has to do
Zoom.
now.
Thanks
This
for
is a
the-
behind the scenes.
This is my hair tie, guys.
This is my hand.
This is my daily planner. That was
Okay.
good. So first things first, upload it to a playlist or on why come to ETH Denver or why I went to ETH Denver. And then that's good. That's a good end of the funnel place. So where you get people who are interested in hearing more testimonials per se, and have that content ready for them. And then I would still very much do that on Twitter. Twitter is actually a pretty good distribution channel. If you don't just post and then leave, Twitter actually requires you to engage heavily with your graph on a daily basis. So if you can do that, or Miss Marketing Person, I forgot her name. I'm sorry.
Laura.
Hi, Laura. Sorry. So if Laura can do it, engage and then also post there. And it's also cute that you can tag these people, which is very cute because they will also have this little content if they're consenting it to being posted online. And then their graph is also going to see it, which is kind of what you want, I think. Especially if you can get some devs as well, because that's the market. Like that's the persona you'd like to
I agree with you
get more
on that point. And that's why Cami's perfect, because she's a famous DevRel person.
Yeah.
Do you have an opinion on whether to tweet a link to the YouTube video, which would be my preference for playlist reasons, among others, or to embed, like to upload the video itself to Twitter?
Okay. If you want to max it out, I would say, I think if it's not like a really long YouTube video that has a lot of value, you will not get a lot of people clicking on it. Like the churn is usually 10%, if anything.
It's got to be native. It's got to autoplay, all that.
It's got to autoplay. Like we're scrolling fast. So if you want to max it out, you should have the link there if people want to see more of the playlist, or, even post it in a comment, and the first comment, like more of like this awesome person and 100 more on this. Yeah. Like that in the comment, but you have to have the video there natively. I feel like that is much more engaging and people will see it. Otherwise, like I'm not clicking on your YouTube video there. If you don't sell it to me in the caption, why I'm going to die if I don't watch this right now, I will not click on it.
Titles are hard too.
I know. So
like, what would you title this one?
I don't know. We were mostly waffling for half an hour, and now we're getting.
No, I'm sorry. I mean the Cami one.
Oh.
Because the beat for me is that, like, there's two beats. I met all the cool people, and then there's quit my job, got a new one a week later after writing a blog post. I
feel like you could make your life easier and just trust these people that you're you're sharing the recordings of, and share like the first sentence that they're saying. Like she said, I think, I came to eat Denver, and then saying like 2 short points.
Oh, a summary.
Or you tag, okay, wait. Or tag like Cami came to eat Denver too, and then 2 like her main points, like a little summary. It's like 2 sentences or less. And then there's the 1-minute video. Or you can edit that because that
This
was
is like for the tweet, like at Cami eat Denver and blank and
Yeah,
blank
yeah.
happened, but
Yeah,
not for
and
the
you can
name of
say
the
more.
video,
No,
or also for the name of the video.
the name of the video on YouTube.
Yeah, because my dumb marketing brain is like eat Denver changed my life, but then I can only use that once, so I don't know how to make it more contextual.
I think the playlist should be like why come to eat Denver. And then every individual video, I think you could be creative with everyone with the gist of what they're saying, or you could make it schematic and have the same title for all of them except like different person.
Well, this also immediately loops into the, let's say we're uploading it as a YouTube short, as an Instagram reel, we do the vertical version. Let's say there's no visual overlay. We want our production pipeline to have as little overhead as possible because frankly, we don't have the team for it. So I take this, I throw it in something like CapCut or Descript to make it vertical, and then I export that. And then I go straight to the social media platforms I'm going to use, and I hit upload. Then there's the description hashtag conversation.
Yep, that you should. Okay, FYI, everybody, marketing tip number 2 of the day.
Marketing tip number 2, tip alert.
The titles on Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok are using SEO technology, or at least they are affecting that. So you're doing way better if you are giving like a description on there, which also you can copy paste from between all of these 3 platforms. By the way, if you're targeting devs, I think you should also post on LensTube as a 4th place for your shorts.
There's a LensTube now.
Yeah, I'm posting there.
What's
fairly regularly, but I'm more experimenting with it still because it's a very. I don't think it has a lot of users yet, but it's more interesting on like a technical perspective. But yeah, so anyway, use a lot of captions, like describe the video of this person's showing us or telling us why ETH Denver is worth going to, and attending and experiencing.
Oh, be verbose. Humans don't read it, so it's okay to be verbose. We're not optimizing for human eyes.
It's
literally
just
like
machines. Yep.
Tag and then full name. Cami Ramos came to ETH Denver 2022, where she quit her job and then got a new one, which changed her life.
It's for the machine.
Got
it. It's for.
That helps so much because the hard part for me
should have
is
started with that.
No, you did. You said it was for SEO, and what I'm clarifying is, and not for humans.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
like
humans.
I'll
really.
sometimes open up the description for something I'm watching, but like that's not really.
If the video is not descriptive enough somehow, which they usually is, especially like a talking video, so you don't usually open that. It's just for the sake of the algorithm knowing what you're about. And you can use hashtags. I wouldn't recommend having one at ETH Denver because you're the only one using that. You should use something that the algorithm will know how to put you in that bracket with that hashtag. Don't use too many, like 3 is more than enough, and switch them up.
How do you choose? Well, we're just choosing crypto, Web3, and blockchain.
Those are too big. All of those, you should use one of those 3. Those are like millions if videos are under those under those hashtags. You should have one that has millions, so one of those 3. And then you should have like something that barely makes sense, like hackathon attendee or something like that. That's like 1,000 videos or, something very random. Every platform that you're uploading this to is going to show how much that hashtag has, I think. I don't know Reels. I don't use Reels, but the other 2 definitely do. And then one which has like, I don't know, like a few 100,000 to 1 million videos underneath it. That's something I've learned from my Instagram days, hacking the hashtag system. But I don't know if it's still relevant. Anyway,
I mean, it
like
gives me a
that's the
place to
best
start.
practice.
I had no
Yeah.
heuristics for hashtags before this.
Okay, so that's the best practice, usually. Yep, that's it. And
Tip
then
alert.
cross post.
Cross
Yeah, that
post.
was the tip. And so you're trying to maximize your reach with the short video, but I would also recommend, so if you're a tryhard and you don't just want to have views, you actually want to convert and find or help these people that you described a few minutes ago find your content. You should be like, I think they're also on Reddit, on specific Discord servers, on everything, and go in there and do marketing there, like talk to them. It's very time consuming, but that is reassuring you to find your target audience way better.
Okay. For what it's worth, we are doing a version of that. For example, I mentioned our avatar, the college student. We are doing direct outreach to hundreds of college blockchain and then sometimes more broadly technology clubs and being like, we'd love to see you at ETH Denver. Do you want a free swag box? We're happy to send you one. Also, we have a scholarship. Would that help get you here? And that kind of very direct.
That's pretty sick. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you have like good inbound from that?
It's all very early in the last week or two, so we're still seeing how it's panning out. But
Okay.
no. Like 0 swag boxes requested. A scholarship application has only had like a couple dozen applications. We have 500 beds we're ready to give out so that people don't even have to pay for a hotel during the main event, the core event.
Say.
So that's like ultra high value. People are spending like $500 a night on hotels. And so this is like the thing that makes it so that person doesn't have to be a college student, but like that person who doesn't want to blow $2K, $3K just to have housing during the event.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a big deal.
Okay. So that's a good move, actually. I would still like, college students hang out a hell of a lot on Discords. It's a good spot. It's better than Zoom. It's a lot of times better than group chats. I know a lot of our Web3 folk like to share on Discord because it's not very suited for what we're trying to do with DAOs.
I don't.
But I actually kind of like Discord. We're
the best
running
we
the
have.
company in Discord. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
best we have so far. It's a pretty good role system too. Like it's very, very custom. Anyway,
Yeah.
so they do like to hang out in Discord, and there's a lot of very small interest communities there that I feel like would be interesting for you to use.
You are the founder of guild.xyz, and I am the head of community development at ETH Denver and Spork DAO. And there's one aspect of our responsibility or goals that is extremely similar. And this is like a theoretical question. Is community defined by the number of people that consistently interact in your walled garden? And to give a specific example, your Discord server? Or are these people who have many identities and are in many places? And so if they're talking about guild.xyz somewhere else or using it in their community, even if they're not talking about it that much, do you think that counts as like the extent to which guild.xyz's community is getting stronger?
Yeah,
Because one of my main pain points is that if you take a really naive approach, you think the ETH Denver community is defined as the number of people that attend the community call every week, that talk in our Discord server, that come to the event. But then we also say we're a community of communities. Like it's a big tent and a blank canvas, and all kinds of people show up and do all kinds of things. Just like guild.xyz is like, we're a platform to help empower you to do all kinds of cool things. So we don't need you to be like, I love Guild, just use it. And if you're successful, we're stoked. So
that's actually the same. I always said it in the beginning. We actually have guild of guilds or something like that because the community of communities, it's the same thing.
Right.
And I do agree that it was hard. It's hard sometimes to define, especially to the rest of the team, but the community, our Discord, which is I think now at like almost 65K or something around that, is just one communication channel of our community. Like it's just one aspect of it. It's easier for me to have that as that's a communication channel. Our communities so huge. It's everywhere. Like you're saying, it's people who are in none of my Telegram groups that I have for the community, none of the channels in our Discord server, none of that, but are still power users or slash have used Guild and liked it and talked about it to someone else. I have no idea how to like I don't have a direct communication channel with them, but they're still community members. But the Discord server specifically is something that I
It's kind
can
of like
take
a
care
modern
of.
newsletter because you can add
Yeah.
everyone and you have a direct line to them.
And I can moderate it. I can, make sure that it has fun stuff to do and it's a nice place to be. And when you're around, it's like actually cool to be in. You're in no way, shape, or form committed to it. And you're also living your life everywhere else that you are already living it. Like it's just a communication channel, one of them. And then the community, some of it lives on Twitter because some people's like guild affinity is only by reading some of our tweets on Twitter. Like that is okay. Some people are neither of it. Like some people are already like only in some of my team's network, like their friend groups. Like some of them are even here in Hungary that are not on Twitter. And they're also part of our community in a sense. But the Discord server's purpose is to be for the people who are using Discord to have this communication channel with them for participating in the guild community.
I asked this question because you talked about going into these college students' Discord servers and interacting with them there.
Yeah.
And so, now I'll fully generalize it. What is the, maybe not difference between, but relationship between marketing and community?
I feel like they're so intertwined. Like in Web3, you don't have strictly a marketing role or a community role. It's kind of the same in a sense of like responsibilities for a person. Like me as like a communications person, I do both of that because they're so close to each other that I cannot drop either of them and just focus on the other one. Like it's not, community is such a vast and valuable thing that I would much rather, we have not really focused on any actual like marketing efforts. As we had one campaign that I did this year in like July, August, that was more marketing-y. That was also not paid, but like I prepared content, like it was a thing. But everything else other than that, it was just like relationship building, like nurturing the community, helping them out whatever we could, trying to provide value back and forth. It's mostly that. And I feel like that is something I very much like about Web3 is that I like marketing and I like thinking about like strategies and stuff, but you're still doing that when you're building a community, but still it's much more of a conversation, which I think is it's a much healthier approach to building a company, to have a direct communication channel with your users, the people who you're building for. Like you can directly ask questions, have input, work with them. Like it's much better. It's way better. And also, I don't know if you guys know the term relationship marketing. It goes such longer. Like it's a very labor intensive type of marketing, but it's something that I've learned that's what it's called. What I'm doing is essentially just like you're talking to people in your community. But that is something how kind of like word of mouth is growing. And I think a lot of like successful Web3 projects are building off of that, including us, that we are like at Guild, we don't like never paid for marketing and I don't think we ever will, but I'd rather talk to 10 people a week, hang out, and also help them however I can with what I'm building. Maybe like even integrate something else so that it's even used better. They make better use for what I'm building. So like it's different, but I think in Web3 they are so related to each other in such small teams that we're in, that it's not like these Coinbase level, operations. It's not a separate role. It's kind of so similar.
Yeah, I could not agree more. And also, hi, Toxin. Let's put our money where our mouth
I
is.
get it soon.
Okay, in what, 15 or less?
In 5.
In 5, thank you, 5. before I forget, oh, did my camera bug again? Oh,
It's
no,
okay. It's
cool.
okay. Now it's good.
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Pre-structure and praying daily are both asking, and I'll ask, how do you get a lens handle? I don't have one yet. What's somebody got to do?
I think they have a lot of giveaways, and they're also working with a lot of other projects. So there's, it's actually a big thing because I don't know why, but people are farming out lens handles. So they're making it a very, very slow launch. That's why you guys don't have one yet, because
They're
you kind
doing
of
the
have to help.
Nintendo Wii thing where they're intentionally limiting supply, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. So you gotta hunt Twitter for there's always some giveaway with one of these Web3 companies.
Okay, so you set like
Uh,
follow
yeah.
keywords.
Search the keyword so you'll find one. And I guarantee you that if you're a part of more than one community, you'll see a lens handle giveaway at some point. Yeah. So that's gonna be nice. And it usually isn't too hard to get it. It's like, I don't know, some
Okay.
following or something like
Thank
that.
you. But to respond to your very clippable point a moment ago, I think I see this playing out in myself and in my values and my priorities on a day-to-day basis. Because just to like arbitrarily pick 3 things that kind of capture like the difference here, I could spend time in our Discord responding to this tight-knit group of 12 people over and over and over and getting to know them by name and developing that relationship over the course of a year. And I think, what's the value there? And then what's the ceiling on how valuable that can be? And then I think like our support tickets, like hundreds of people just being like, I can't claim my ticket. I have this random question. This is like a one-off interaction, just like the game theory is like multiple interactions versus one interaction. I also want to give them a lot of love and attention, but it doesn't feel like relationship building. It just feels more like superficial. And then you've got at the deep other end, like just maximizing the algorithm on a social media app so that thousands of people view a video, but I never know their names. And maybe they're developing some interest or maybe even affinity in what we're doing. And maybe it's even helping them, but that's not a relationship. That's an asymmetrical pipeline, especially if we're not like responding to their comments and stuff. So those are very different. And sometimes naively, I just completely lose sight of the first one. And I'm like, all right, so our only goal is to pump our newsletter numbers and to like double our Twitter followers. And I don't really care who they are. I just want that number to be bigger. And I like lose sight of the plot.
Yeah. I think like growth here can be very dangerous, a mindset. We've intentionally not grown for a while with the socials. Like it's doing pretty well. Like it's because it's doing well because you got to balance that out. And my advice for that would be to definitely take at least 10 to 20% of your time and focus on the actual like relationships over the week and building those, the ones that you already have, or reaching out or just listening and offering help to others that are in your affinity already. That is in Telegram chats, in your Discord server, in your Twitter DMs, whatever that might be. Even hopping on calls. I love doing that. It's so nice. I definitely have at least 1 or 2 calls a week that is just like, hey, we haven't talked in a while. I just missed them.
Like
but
this,
really
I could
good.
do 100 of these in a week and I would not be
Yeah.
drained.
Great. You're extrovert.
No, specifically one-on-one is nourishing to me, but running a community call and like having to like be on stage for even 24 people is a very different energy for me. That's actually kind of draining, even if I'm good at it. This feels like connecting, whereas it's more of a group thing. It's like I can do it, but those I can only do like 2 hours of a day.
True. Okay, I see that. And then you should still focus a lot of efforts on the new, because I think with like Twitter and stuff like that, growing your numbers on Substack, you should view it as you're growing the pool of where you can actually build more valuable relationships from. So you shouldn't be looking at it as numbers. It is, each of that number is a new person that is potentially your new friend that you haven't met yet. That's the wholesome part of it. But more importantly, people who can be in this community and can maybe build relationships with each other. And like, it's not don't look at it as numbers. That's a dangerous road. I think it's easier to keep in mind that it's each person's an individual. Each support ticket is a human being confused and anxious. So keep that mindset, keep that in the top of your head, and then most of those will feel, even if you're looking at increasing your Twitter following so that you can reach more people. The goal why you're trying to reach more people is that there's potentially new relationships to be formed and had, and more value to be exchanged amongst you and them and each other. It's super cute. So for me, it helps a lot to look at it this way, because then I don't just turn into a growth machine, which is, I think it's valuable, but not for the kind of community that I'm trying to build. So, or yeah, that's my last tip of the day, maybe.
Tip alert.
Tip alert.
To reach more people, will you be in Miami in 2023? Will ETH Denver be in Miami? No. ETH Denver
Really?
you would think that's a crazy question. Will ETH Denver, a thing that has Denver in the name, be in Miami? But it's not a crazy question. We I don't want to leak too much alpha, but we think about what it might look like to host more than one event a year and where it would make sense to do that. So
Insane. Okay.
Yeah, we're grown up, but I want to be respectful of your time. Thank you, Reka. This has been an absolute treat and a joy and a pleasure.
You have some clips.
I got a couple. I wrote down the timestamps. I'm gonna clip it, and knowing me, 2 weeks from now, I still will not have clipped it, just like our last conversation. And that's just how life goes, because this is hard.
Can you send me the raw or the clips or something?
I'll download the full video and send it to you and tell you the timestamps. Is that good enough?
Perfect.
I appreciate you.
Me too. Thanks for having me, Derek, and thanks guys for coming and explaining and about ETH Denver and everything and having questions. It was super nice.
Yeah, this would have been fun without you all, but the fact that you're here makes it even better. So thank you, Doxson, for joining. Thank you, Praying Daily. Good to see you. As always, Exodus, and OG. And if Beam or Russell or anyone is still listening, it's been good to have you as well. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, guys.